Hi guys! Welcome to Cup of Teach. In this video, we will be discussing operations on rational numbers. Fractions muna. Okay? But before we go into that, let us first identify the two types of fractions. So the first one, we have the dissimilar fractions. Okay? So similar fractions, these are fractions with same denominators. Examples, we have 2 over 10, 3 over 10, 7 over 10, and 9 over 10. As you can see, they have all the denominator of 10. Okay? The next example we have is 5 over 7, 8 over 7, 1 over 7, and 10 over 7. So, they also have 7 as their denominator. Pare-pareho lang. Now, how do we add similar fractions? Okay, so let us try this example. Add 3 over 7 and 2 over 7. So first thing that you're going to do is, syempre, write the problem. Okay, so 3 over 7 plus 2 over 7. Okay, next is you have to copy the denominator since they have the same denominator, which is 7. Now, you have to add the numerator. So, we will have 3 plus 2. Okay? And then, solve. 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. And then, copy the denominator 7. Therefore, 3 over 7 plus 2 over 7 is equal to 5 over 7. That is our final answer. Okay, let's have another example. Let us add negative 2 and 3 over 8 and 7 over 8. So as you can see, here, we have a mixed fraction. So the first thing that you're going to do kapag meron kang mixed fraction, you have to convert it into improper fraction. So to do that, let us do it on the separate side. Okay, so let's write negative 2 and 3 over 8. And, syempre, first step, you have to copy the denominator. Then, after copying the denominator, you have to multiply it to the whole number. So, 2 times or 8 times 2 is 16. Then, add the numerator. So, 16 plus 3, we have 19. But, as you can see, we have a negative sign here. So, may negative sign. You also have to put negative sign on 19. So, we will have negative 19 over 8. Okay? So, na-convert na natin siya into improper fraction. Pwede na tayong mag-add. So, let us write negative 19 over 8 plus 7 over 8. So, first step, you have to copy the denominator. Okay? And then, the next step, you have to add the numerator. So, we will have negative 19 plus 7. So, then add the numerator. So, parang addition of integers, negative 19 plus 7. So, keep the sign of the bigger number. So, we will get negative 12 over 8. But as you can see, negative 12 over 8 is not yet in its lowest term. So, ang gagawin natin, i-convert natin siya sa lowest term niya. We have to get the greatest common factor. And the greatest common factor of 12 and 8 is 4. So, we have to divide both sides by, or both numbers by 4. So, negative 12 divided by 4, and then 8 divided by 4, which will give us the answer of negative 3 over 2. Therefore, negative 2 and 3 over 8 plus 7 over 8 is equal to negative 3 over 2. Now, we are done with adding fractions. How do we subtract similar fractions naman? Okay, so let us try this example. Subtract 10 over 7 from 6 over 7. So, from the question, we have the word from. So, ibig sabihin, 6 over 7, we will write it first. Then 10 over 7 is the number or fraction on the right side. So we will write it like this. 6 over 7 minus 10 over 7. Okay, so same process lang siya with addition. So the first thing that you're going to do is copy the denominator and then subtract the numerator. So first, copy the denominator. So we have over 7. And then on the numerator, don't forget to do co-cha-cha or copy, change, change. So copy 6, change the minus sign to plus sign, and then change the positive 10 into negative 10. Then proceed to addition. So 6 plus negative 10, we will get a negative 4 over 7. Therefore, 6 over 7 minus 10 over 7 is equal to negative 4 over 7. That is our final answer. Okay? So to summarize, the addition and subtraction of similar fractions, again, when we say similar, they have the same denominators. So in adding similar fractions, you have this format. A over B plus C over B is equal to A plus C over B. So you just have to add the numerator and then copy the denominator, where B is not equal to 0. Now, in subtraction, just the same. So we have A over B minus C over B, which is equal to A minus C over B. So subtract the numerator, then copy the denominator. And dapat si B is not equal to 0. Okay, now let us discuss the second type of fraction. We have dissimilar fractions. Dissimilar fractions, these are the fractions with different denominators. Examples, we have 4 over 7, 3 over 6, and 8 over 11. So as you can see, their denominators are different. So the same case with this, 7 over 10, 7 over 15, and 7 over 20. Although their numerators are the same, but still their denominators are different. Kaya sila tinatawag na dissimilar fractions. And for dissimilar fractions, we have a different procedures or process to add or subtract them, unlike a similar fraction. So, how do we add dissimilar fractions? So, let's have this example. Add 4 over 5 and 7 over 2. So, the first thing that you're going to do, syempre, is write the problem. So, 4 over 5 plus 7 over 2. Next, you have to multiply the denominators. So, we will have 5 times 2. Next, the next thing that you're going to do is to multiply the numerator of the first fraction to the denominator of the second fraction. So, we will have 4 times 2. Okay? Then, add the numerator of the second fraction multiplied to the denominator of the second fraction. We will have plus 7 times 5. Okay? Next is we have to multiply everything. So, we will have 4 times 2 is 8 plus 7 times 5 is 35 over, okay, 5 times 2 we will get 10. Then, add the numerator, we will have 43 over 10. Okay? So, therefore, 4 over 5 plus 7 over 2 is equal to 43 over 10. Next, another example. Let us add 2 over 7 plus negative 3 and 5 over 6. So, eto, meron ulit tayong mixed fraction. So, anong gagawin natin? Let us convert it first to improper fraction. Okay? Doon ulit tayo sa isang side mag-solve. So, we have negative 3 and 5 over 6. So, first, copy the denominator. And then, multiply the denominator to the whole number. So, 6 times 3, we will have 18. And then, add it to the numerator. 18 plus 5, we will get a 23. And since we have a negative here, you will also write negative on the numerator. So, negative 3 and 5 over 6 is also equal to negative 23 over 6. So, that is what we will going to write doon sa ating problem. So, write the problem, 2 over 7 plus negative 23 over 6. So, ayan ang isosolve natin ngayon. Now, first thing ulit, dun muna tayo sa denominator. Multiply the denominator. So, 7 times 6. Next is we have to multiply the numerator of the first fraction to the denominator of the second fraction. So, we will have 2 times 6 plus, okay, yung numerator ng second fraction sa denominator ng first fraction. You have to multiply them. So, ayan yon. Okay? Next, you have to multiply everything. So, we will have 6 times 2 is 12 plus negative 161 over 42. Then, add these two numbers following the operations on integers. So, 12 plus negative 161, we will get negative 149 over, copy the denominator, 42. The final answer is this one, kasi wala na siyang lowest term. Therefore, 2 over 7 plus negative 3 and 5 over 6 is equal to negative 149 over 42. Okay? Now, let us go to this question. How do we subtract dissimilar fractions? Okay? So, same process tayo doon. Let us subtract this one. 5 over 8 from 6 over 7. So, andito ulit yung salitang from. So, ang una nating isusulat is yung 6 over 7. So, 6 over 7 minus 5 over 8. Again, first step, you have to multiply the denominators. Second step, you have to multiply the numerator of the first fraction to the denominator of the second fraction. So, 6 times 8. Then, subtract to the product of denominator ng first fraction sa numerator ng second fraction. So, minus 7 times 5. Now, multiply everything. We will get 48 minus 35 over 56. Then, 48 minus 35, we will get a 13 over 56. Therefore, 6 over 7 minus 5 over 8, the final answer is 13 over 56. Okay. So, for addition and subtraction of dissimilar fractions, so this is the mnemonic na kailangan yung tandaan. A over B plus C over D is equal to A times D plus C times B over B times D. And sa subtraction naman, we have this mnemonic. A over B plus C over D is equal to A times D minus C times B over B times D. That is the shortcut, the shortest possible way. Okay? Now that we are done with addition and subtraction of fractions, let us go to the multiplication of fractions. So how do we multiply fractions? Okay, let us try this example. Multiply negative 1 over 5 and 3 over 7. So, ang first thing na gagawin mo is to write the problem. Negative 1 over 5 times 3 over 7. Okay? So, since we have a negative here, you can put that on either 1 or 5. It doesn't matter. Now, let us go to the first step. You have to multiply the numerators. So, multiply negative 1 times 3. Dito ko nilagay sa 1 yung negative sign. Over, you have to multiply the denominator 2. And then, proceed to the multiplication. Negative 1 times 3, we have negative 3. And then, 5 times 7, we have 35. So, since this is the lowest term, wala na tayong kukuning factors. Therefore, negative 1 over 5 times 3 over 7 is equal to negative 3 over 35. Next, let's have another example. Okay, let us multiply negative 5 and 1/3 and negative 3 over 18. Mixed fraction again. So, we have to convert it to improper. So, write it on the separate side or on the other side. And then, copy the denominator. Multiply the denominator to the whole number. 5 times 3, we have 15. 15 plus 1, okay? 15 plus 1, we have a 16. Since we have a negative here, we will write the negative sign doon kay 16. So, we will have negative 16 over 3 times negative 3 over 18. And then, same process, you just have to multiply the numerators, then multiply the denominators. We will get 3 times 18, and then the numerators, we will get negative 16 times negative 3. Now, this one's a little harder to multiply kasi malaki yung numbers. We have negative 16 and 3, tapos 18 and 3. So, to ease the difficulty of multiplying, let us get the GCF or the greatest common factors of the numbers here. So, negative 16 and 18 has a common factor of 2. Okay, so let's take that out. So, negative 16 divided by 2, we will get an negative 8. And 18 divided by 2, we will get a 9. Therefore, so, isusulat natin dito sa next part is we have a negative 8 and then we will have a 9. So, tinanggal na natin yung 2. Now, on this second part, we have a 3 here and a negative 3 here. So, meron silang common, which is 3. So, ang gagawin mo, you have to take out the common factor, which is yung 3. So, we will get 3 divided by 3. We will have here a 1. And negative 3 divided by 3, we will get a negative 1. So, yan din yung isusulat natin sa kabila. So, we have a negative 1 on the numerator and then a 1 on the denominator. And then, let's multiply. Negative 8 times negative 1, we will get an 8 over 1 times 9 is 9. Therefore, the final answer here, negative 5 and 1/3 times negative 3 over 18 is 8 over 9. Next, let's go to division. How do we divide fractions? Let's have this one. Divide 1 over 2 by 1 over 3. Okay? So, first, write the problem. 1 over 2 divided by 1 over 3. Next step, you have to copy the first fraction, 1 over 2. Then change the division sign or the division symbol to multiplication. And then, this fraction, you will get its reciprocal, or you have to invert it. Babaliktarin mo. So, we will have a 1 on the denominator and 3 on the numerator. So, babaliktad siya. Then, proceed to the multiplication of fractions. So, 1 times 3, 2 times 1. So, we got a 2. Therefore, 1 over 2 divided by 1 over 3 is 3 over 2. Let's have another example. Divide negative 3 over 5 by 7 over 10. So, write the question first. Negative 3 over 5 divided by 7 over 10. Okay? The next thing that you're going to do is copy negative 3 over 5. Then change the division symbol to multiplication. Then invert the second fraction. So, we will get a 10 over 7. Next is you multiply. So, negative 3, you can put the negative here sa 3 or sa 5. Pero, in this case, I'll just put it in 3. So, negative 3 times 10 over 5 times 7. Okay? So, we will get a negative 30 over 35. So, since we have a common here, we have here a common factor which is 5. So, ang gagawin nyo, divide nyo lang siya by 5. Pareho yung numerator and denominator. And then, we will get negative 6 over 7. Therefore, negative 3 over 5 divided by 7 over 10 is equal to negative 6 over 7. So, this is our final answer. So, for the multiplication and division of fractions, you just have to remember that multiplication, if we have a over b times c over d, that is equal to a times c over b times d. You just have to directly multiply the numerator and the denominator. For division, we have a over b divided by c over d. You just have to cross multiply a times d over b times c.
Thank you for watching. That's it for this video. If you learned something here, don't forget to like and subscribe to Cup of Teach. See you on the next lesson. Bye!